We value the well-being of our children. In addition to our natural urge to protect what we love, we know that at a societal level, their successful development is key to a vibrant, secure future. Poll after poll shows more than 80% of Americans consider healthy children a top priority. We must line up our practice and policies with these values. Many communities across the country have stepped up to create local or state policies to protect children from pesticide exposure. From pesticide-free schools, parks, and playgrounds to protected buffer zones in agricultural areas, locally driven actions are leading the way to healthier childhood environments. But to ensure protection of all children from the harms of pesticides, we must dramatically reduce the use of these chemicals nationwide. An estimated 1.1 billion pounds of pesticides are used in the United States every year, with more than 20,000 products on the market. This volume of use is undermining the health of the next generation, and as science demonstrates, derailing the development of our children's potential. Scientists have understood for decades that children are particularly vulnerable to the harms of pesticide exposure. Quickly growing bodies take in more of everything. They eat more, breathe more, drink more, pound for pound than adults. As physiological systems undergo rapid changes from the womb through adolescence, interference from pesticides and industrial chemicals, even at very low levels can derail the process in ways that lead to significant harm. Reducing overall pesticide use would not only limit children's exposure during their most vulnerable years, it would also lower pesticide levels in the bodies of men and women of childbearing age, protecting current and future generations in one fell swoop. Those pesticides most harmful to children should be first on the list. While we must each do what we can with food choices and decisions about home pest control, we cannot accomplish this goal at an individual household level. Policy change is required. Effective policies are urgently needed to protect children from the health harms of pesticides. Policymakers need much more effective tools. Pesticide Action Network believes change is most urgently needed in the way decisions are made about these three questions. Which pesticides are used in agriculture? Which pesticides are used in places children live, learn, and play? How are farmers supported as they reduce reliance on pesticides? Now I'm going to read to you some stupefying statistics. Obesity increased 171% in 6 to 11-year-olds from 1980 to 2004. Diabetes increased 153% in 0 to 19-year-olds from 1990 to 2011. Childhood cancers increased 25% in 0 to 19-year-olds from 1975 to 2004. Autism increased 78% in 8-year-olds from 2002 to 2008. 78% in 6 years. Better diagnosis and tracking does not account for those increases. ADHD has increased 3% every year in 6 to 17-year-olds from 1997 to 2006. Developmental disabilities increased 17% overall in 3 to 17-year-olds from 1997 to 2008. We cannot individually grow or label or shop our way out of this, people. We have to call a halt to the chemicals and products responsible or even suspected of causing this devastation to our children and our future. Pesticide Action Network recommends the following policy changes. Prevent the pesticide industry from selling agricultural products that can harm children's health. Period. Prevent it. Take swift action on existing pesticides. If studies find a pesticide to be a neurodevelopmental or reproductive toxicant, endocrine disruptor, or human carcinogen, and it has been measured in humans, in schools, in homes, or as residues on food or in drinking water, the EPA should target the pesticide for rapid phase out, triggering USDA resources to assist rapid farmer transitions to safer pest controls. Block harmful new pesticides. The EPA should not approve any new pesticide that scientific studies suggest is a neurodevelopmental toxicant a reproductive toxicant, an endocrine disruptor, or human carcinogen, including short-term conditional registrations. Prevent harmful low-level exposures. The EPA should act on existing evidence that exposures to endocrine-disrupting pesticides pose a particular danger to developing children. The long-delayed endocrine disruptor screening program should be swiftly implemented. The endocrine disruptor screening program has been just sitting there for a decade. Nobody is doing it. We need to protect children where they live, learn, and play. Kid-safe homes, daycares, and schools. The EPA should withdraw approval of existing pesticide products and not approve new pesticides for use in homes, daycare centers, or schools when scientific evidence indicates the chemicals are possible neural development or reproductive toxicants, endocrine disruptors, or human carcinogens. Safer parks and playgrounds. Okay, I'm going to skip ahead. We need to invest in farmers stepping off the pesticide treadmill. I will have links to this at base camp so that you can read the rest of this for yourself, because I know you're all getting tired and we need to start our march. Just one little last thing. Not long ago, Environmental Working Group research detected 287 chemicals in the umbilical cord blood of newborns. Of that total, 180 are known to cause cancer in humans or animals. 217 are toxic to the brain and nervous system, and 208 cause birth defects or abnormal development in test animals. The system that is supposed to protect us against toxic chemicals is profoundly broken. A new chemical safety bill has been introduced in Congress that falls far short of the reforms that Americans need and have been repeatedly assured were in the works. Now is the time to demand reform. Stand with Environmental Working Group, Pesticide Action Network, Breast Cancer Action, Union of Concerned Scientists, Safer Chemicals, Healthy Families, Campaign for Safe Cosmetics, Organic Consumers Association, and a host of other organizations. Stand with them and tell your senators to reject legislation that does not have the strong chemical safety measures Americans overwhelmingly want. Make them do their job and keep revising the legislation until they get it right.